What it do? What it do? Welcome to the. Hold on. What it do? What it do? Welcome to the Genius Club. I am your boy Lean Gene, and we're gonna get right into it today. Right? We got some breaking news type shit. Right? With the shit that happened down there in New Orleans when you got this ISIS. This I don't know if he ISIS or not. You know what I mean? But he had the flag in the truck. When you got the guy plowing down human beings, you know what I mean, in the goddamn truck with explosives in it. Yeah, this is the world today, right? This is the world we're living in today. You can't trust a motherfucker. They crazy as hell. Hey man, I be on the street driving. Just off of driving, you gotta trust society. Cause who's to say that uh a motherfucker won't just come out of nowhere and smack the side of your ass. You know what I mean? Now you all fucked up. You did. Like I've been in an accident. I had a head on collision and broke 16 bones. You know what I'm saying? So I look at those type of things. Like when I hop in the car and I gotta drive down the street and shit, I got PTSD. Cause I know we live in a society and society is super unpredictable. You know what I mean? So it'll have you fearful, right? But it's really like fearful of the Lord, cause the Lord can cause whatever happened ain't no coincidence. You know, it's the powers that be, right? You know, whoever you feel it like that's in you, that is the powers that be. That has way more control over your life than you do. Cause let's be honest, motherfuckers talk about responsibility and control and having a sense of control over their own life, and that makes them feel like they're doing good. You know what I mean? But let's be honest. If that was the case, shit, motherfuckers would keep living. Motherfuckers wouldn't die. But motherfuckers die every day, B. You know what I'm saying? So you don't really got no control over your own life. You could just think that way. You know what I mean? And this is another situation that proves that motherfucker come out of anywhere. You know what I mean? So this shit that happened in New Orleans, they like, well, shit. They done plowed, dude. Last I heard, it was 14 people dead, 35 people or 40 something people injured in that. You know, they said dude was smashed. They said he went around the goddamn guardrails, but they only had him on the street. They didn't have him on the sidewalk. So dude hit the sidewalk and got to smashing. Motherfuckers going crazy. They had to murk him, right? The police had to murk him. But now they finding out that he probably wasn't a loner. He probably wasn't a lone wolf. He probably didn't do it by himself. It's some other motherfuckers out here. You know? But yeah, let's play this clip of the New Orleans news channel or CNN or somebody, let's play this clip of them talking about this, man, on a national stage, and let's see what the hell they saying. We can come right back. Hey, play that shit for me, big dog. Let's go.
It's getting thrown.
Sudden terror on Bourbon Street.
There were just bodies and the screams. You cannot think about, unhear that. It was chaos and very, very scary.
Everything in the car is hitting. It's getting thrown.
The vehicle ran through a crowd of people. There's multiple injuries, multiple casualties. Benita Canal and Bourbon.
Just hours after the clock struck midnight, the driver in a pickup truck went around barricades, according to police, killing those celebrating New Year's Eve along the iconic street. At least 15 people were killed, dozens others injured.
This is not just an act of terrorism. This is evil.
The suspect, identified as Shamsud-Din, a 42-year-old man from Texas who previously served in the U.S. military. He was driving a privately rented pickup truck from Turo, an Airbnb-type rental site for cars.
An ISIS flag was located on the trailer hitch of the vehicle, and the FBI is working to determine the subject's potential associations and affiliations with terrorist organizations.
Once the vehicle stopped, the driver reportedly opened fire on responding police officers.
Law enforcement returned fire, and the subject was pronounced deceased at the scene. 2 law enforcement officers were injured and transported to local hospitals.
Witnesses are asking questions about why the city's steel mechanical barricades weren't up prior to the attack.
There was police there at the entrance, a lot of police there, but the metal barricades were not up.
Bollards were not up because they are near completion.
The FBI, which has taken over the investigation, does not believe the suspect acted alone.
We're aggressively running down every lead, including those of his known associates.
And the Sugar Bowl for
so
college football, scheduled to be held in New Orleans this evening, has been postponed.
All agree that it's in the best interest of everybody and public safety that we postpone the game for 24 hours.
And we are starting to learn more about the now 15 who were killed as a result of this attack, including 37-year-old Reggie Hunter from Baton Rouge. He had just texted his family Happy New Year a little earlier in the evening, according to his cousin, who tells us that he was someone who liked to laugh and tell jokes. He loved his family, loved his kids, leaves behind an 11-year-old and a 1-year-old just hours into 2025, Wolf.
Our deepest condolences to his family. Art Omar, thank you very much. I want to get right to our chief law enforcement and intelligence analyst, John Miller. He's getting some new reporting for us. John, what are you learning?
Well, Wolf, what we've been trying to do is develop a richer picture of who is the man behind this carnage in New Orleans. What do we know about him, and what can that tell us about motive? And what we've learned from multiple sources is that Mr. Jabbar apparently made, according to authorities, a series of voice recordings on video as he drove, they believe, from Texas to Louisiana to partake in these attacks, allegedly. The recordings talk about the turmoil in his family, the long-fought, bitter divorce he was going through. He discusses, according to officials briefed on the videos, where it appears they're made while he's driving, but it's in the dark, so you can't really see him on these videos, recorded apparently on his phone. But he talks about the idea of getting his family together for a celebration, which would have been a ruse so that he could kill all of them, but that over time, after having a series of dreams about joining ISIS, that he changed his plan to carry out this attack in New Orleans to create mass casualties in the name of ISIS. So what we're starting to see is an individual who was experiencing turmoil and stressors in life, who was going to act out in some kind of violent way, and at least, according to what they believe are his own words, decided to do this as an alternative to killing his family. In the recordings, he also has a last will and testament where he divides up what little money he has left after all the financial losses and setbacks he had suffered to family members. So they're beginning to get a picture of what was going on, and it seems to be what was going on in the background of this individual's life that was as much of a driver as any commitment to terrorism.
Yeah, John Miller, great reporting as usual. Stand by. I'm going to get back to you in a moment or so. I want to get some more now on the federal investigation from CNN's Evan Perez. Evan, authorities have released a photo of the man identified as the driver of the truck that plowed into that crowd in New Orleans, killed 15 people, and injured dozens of others.
That's right, Wolf. And that photograph is being put out there by the FBI in part to try to drive tips from the public. They've set up a website, fbi.gov/Bourbon Street attack. They are asking the public to send in any information, any videos, anything about where this suspect may have been over the last several days, over the last several weeks, as they were developing this plot. And we also know, obviously, as we've reported previously, that he was an Army veteran. He served in the U.S. Army from 2007 to 2020, both in active duty and in reserve status. He actually deployed to Afghanistan in 2009 for about a year into early 2010. And, again, part of the picture, as John was just describing, is coming into focus now for the investigators. A lot of his problems and whatever might have been his motivation to then associate with ISIS, which is clear, according to the investigators, that is exactly what his intent was, again, is what's driving all of this. Wolf?
And I know, Evan, you're also getting clarification from law enforcement officials on possible accomplices.
Right. The FBI is still trying to determine whether there's anybody else who might have been involved. Obviously, they know that he was trying to associate with ISIS. It's not clear whether he was talking to anybody in particular to try to plot this attack, or whether, again, this was more of a self-directed of the type that we've seen before. We also know, Wolf, that they were looking at video, surveillance video, that showed 4 people who they at least thought initially could have been involved with maybe some of the IEDs that were found elsewhere in the French Quarter. The FBI later determined that those people had nothing to do with carrying out this attack. So at least for that part of the investigation, that part is closed off. They are still, however, looking into the possibility that there are other people who could have been involved, again, in either helping to construct the IEDs or who may have known about his plans before he carried it out. All of that is still on the table, Wolf.
What more are we learning about the man who was driving this truck that was used as a deadly weapon last night?
Well, piecing together much more of a profile of Shamsud-Din Wolf. And what we've been able to learn, we've culled from public records as well as videos and information he himself has put online. What you're looking at here is an image of him from a YouTube video posted in 2020. It has since been taken down. This video, he has titled it Personal Introduction. He says that he was born in Beaumont, Texas. He talks about his service as a member of the U.S. Army, so he's an Army veteran, and his work in information technology as well as working in real estate. He says in that video that serving in the military taught him, quote, the meaning of great service and what it means to be responsive and take everything seriously, dotting I's and crossing T's to make sure that things go off without a hitch. In that video, he is sitting next to a poster titled Discipline and near a book titled Leadership. Now, authorities do confirm that he served in the U.S. Army. We do have a picture of him from that photo that was posted on Facebook from the U.S. Army. This is a picture of him in 2013. It's a Facebook post from the U.S. Army again, and he's identified in this photo as an Army Staff Sergeant working as an information technology team chief for the 82nd Airborne Division's 1st Brigade Combat Team, and that was back then in 2013. He also posted an online resume where he describes how he graduated from Central Texas College in 2010 and he received a bachelor's degree from Georgia State University in 2017. Georgia State does confirm that he did attend there and did graduate. And Texas records also show that he had a real estate license from 2019 and it expired in 2023. And then the last thing, Wolf, that we found really interesting, because it sort of lays the financial picture of his life currently, is that he was in a divorce with his first wife, and that in 2012 she had sued him for child support. But in 2022, he had submitted an email talking about how he was struggling financially. He wrote that he had fallen behind in house payments, that he feared that he was nearing foreclosure, that he was behind more than $27,000 in payments. He also wrote that the business that he had talked about in that YouTube video, that it had also not made money. He'd lost $28,000 and he was $16,000 in credit card debt, Wolf.
Lots of new information. Kyung-La, thank you. Omar Jimenez, thanks to you as well. I want to break all of this down with our law enforcement experts. Andrew McCabe, let me start with you. What are the next steps right now for the FBI and your former deputy director of the FBI as they try to determine who the individuals placing these improvised explosive devices in the area are?
Absolutely, Wolf. That is priority one for the FBI right now, to identify and locate those individuals who they have captured in the surveillance video, placing the IED devices, which at least two of which have been rendered safe, and therefore are probably providing the Bureau with some evidence that they can use to compare to the device and the other evidence that's been recovered from the truck. And so they may have a solid forensic connection between the IEDs, which would only confirm their suspicion that those three men and one woman are related to or working in concert with the driver of the truck. So that's the biggest potential threat the Bureau is probably focused on right now. And they are doing all the things that we have seen in these sorts of situations in the past. They are scouring video coverage to try to locate those folks and track their movements last night as they led up to the moment of placing the IEDs. They're trying to locate places to search. They're trying to locate individuals who might know something about those folks. So it's a lot of activity going on focused in that direction.
Critically important.
Who they may have interacted with, people they may have prepared devices with, sort of custody.
We're just getting in some very disturbing new video of someone walking out of a bar on Bourbon Street in New Orleans shortly after the attack. I want to play that for you and for our audience. Watch this.
What the f***? I got this f***ing
Juliet, what do you make of the truly harrowing situation seen in that bystander video?
I mean, I think what you're seeing is people who are trying to get out of a car going, I think at this stage they're measuring over 40 miles per hour and getting them just simply out of the way of the vehicle. And this is why the question of the permanent barriers is going to come up, because look, these security measures always have to be upgraded, and we're hearing that this was a security upgrade, possibly in anticipation of the Super Bowl in a couple weeks. But New Year's Eve came before that, and so if you have barricades, temporary barricades, permanent barricades, and then the third level tends to be sanitation trucks or whatever, you just have that layered defense. All of them are intended to essentially try to slow down a car. What we're seeing in those videos is that none of them worked. He was, to quote the public officials, hell-bent on killing and got on the sidewalk. And there will be questions about whether that couldn't have been impeded in some way. But these are normal questions to ask. And I think these are questions that New Orleans will want to ask as it moves forward in its preparation, for example, for Super Bowl in a couple weeks. Look, this effort came out of 2016. Almost every city did not have this until the major attacks in in Nice and Berlin, using vehicles. And lots of cities then got very creative in protecting open areas like this. They may have to be reassessed or fortified again, given the vehicular attacks that we're seeing these days.
Yeah, that's so important. Michael, the Louisiana governor says the Superdome and the surrounding area in New Orleans is safe. How can they be so sure about that if they don't think the attacker was necessarily solely responsible?
Well, we know we're looking for potential other offenders who could have helped him, but they're sweeping the Superdome multiple times to make sure there are no explosive devices. Just like when Super Bowl and Sugar Bowl are there, as many times as they've been there, we create ingresses and egresses that are secure, and people get searched and checked on the way in. And I am sure now that they are going to create an ingress plan that does not allow any vehicles other than people who are authorized to come in, and those are going to be checked, to come into that area. Everybody's right. In 2016, when this happened in Nice, the mayor of New Orleans said, I want to fortify this area, and we then invested in those bollards to be put up there. But we also use big trucks and other city vehicles to really fortify the area. They're going to be doing that again for Sugar Bowl and again for Super Bowl to make sure only people who have to come and can come and are authorized.
That's first you got Luigi, ain't that his name? The nigga that killed the goddamn Medicare worker, whatever the fuck, dude, the medical, whatever the fuck, dude, the medical insurance dude killed him. I don't know his name, whatever. Now the feds on him. I mean, this just show you what's going on in the world today. You know, at least you could be naive when I was coming up. Ain't no more being naive. You gotta look at shit clear. Cause guess what? It could be knocking right at your door. It was happening to them before, but now it's happening to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's different when shit get to coming closer to home. You did? You hear me? So dude, you know, they said dude was what? Had a plan to kill his family. He was gonna invite his family somewhere and to an event and kill him. Then he switched plans and said he gonna do this and just kill civilians, pedestrians. You know, that could have been anybody, man. You know, we talking about this shit. Lord willing, you know, give you enough time to repent, give you enough time to goddamn whatever God you serve, go holler at. But yeah, man, this is crazy, man. You know, when you had kids, you don't want to have to think about society doing damage to your family and hurting your soul. You know, you start fearing things, and you're not fearing people per se. You just fearing the most high, right? Because if you believe in you know, a greater being than yourself, then you would be fearing that because he controls it all. Your death, your future, your past. You know? But man, I had to bring this shit, man. I had to talk about it one time, you know what I'm saying? Cause man, I had to get off my chest what's going on with this shit in the world today, and you can't be more careful and aware of your surroundings because shit gets sticky, you know? So man, y'all like that like button, comment, subscribe, and give your boy some motherfucking engagements. Cause you already know your boy trying to grow. I'm out.